What is up, everybody? Back again with another review video. And today's review is over the DC Multiverse Huntress, which is a part of the McFarlanecollectoredition line. And something you may realize right off the bat is there is not a card stand. So that's something that was recently changed. Luckily, there's many complaints, such as myself. It may look nice for those who have a lot of space, but pretty much everyone I know does not have the space, and it's a waste of plastic. Instead, you get two alternate face plates. They're not heads, they're face plates, which I'll go over more in the video, but that is a great addition. I'm glad to actually see that for once. Going more over the packaging, you're gonna get 12 plus up here in the top, just like every other figure. 22 moving parts as well. And then on this side, you're gonna see McFarlane Collector Edition Huntress from the new 52. And then it is number 23 in the line, which you can see here at the bottom. Going on to the back, you're gonna get this nice art. I like this art, it looks fantastic. Great coloring, great shading going on. Really makes the character stand out, and hopefully the card has a lot of this art on there because I think it's pretty great. So hopefully they did not crop it out in any way. And then on this side, you're gonna get DC Multiverse, 23 at the bottom once again, and Huntress on the side. And for those who may be searching in store, here is the actual barcode. That being said, let's actually get into the figure. First thing I'm gonna start off with is the same thing we've seen time and time again, which is the actual display stand. So there we go, same DC logo there for the collector edition line in a nice silver color. Other than that, it is the exact same. Next thing included is the card. I'm glad they left a majority of the art still on there and cropped it just enough to keep the main parts there. So that's pretty great. And I'll say it time and time again, I do like how they make the McFarlane Collector Edition there on the side because it reminds me of an old sports card I got. Then here is the back if you feel like reading up on it. I don't know why it says Superman the movie there at the top. I think that should actually say Huntress. I have no idea why it says that. I don't know if you can see that, but I think that is an error, which is a big bummer. I have no idea why it says that, but you can pause the video to read the rest. But that is a big disappointment how they couldn't even put Huntress there at the top, because I highly doubt it's supposed to say what it says. Moving on is the actual bowcaster for her to use. I feel like it's a decent size, not overly detailed, but just enough to get the main point across. So there you go. Probably could have made it a little smaller. I guess I shall see later in the video how well it fits her in an actual hand. And the next thing is going to be two extra hands, kind of open, one for the right and one for the left. Simple, basic, just a purple color, as you can see. And the other two hands are two fisty hands, one for the right and one for the left. Very small. Most female characters by McFarlane have very small hands for some reason. I feel like it should be a little more upper in scale and size. And then something that is different is two different face plates. So here is the first one. So you can see kind of a more straight-faced expression, but it is nicely painted on there. I don't really see super large mistakes on the paint application, at least for my copy. So that is great. Her hair is a little bit different. And the next one is going to be, I'm assuming this is more of her kind of classic look. I don't read up on comics, so mention down in the comments, I almost said comics, where this version or face really comes to play, but it seems to be a little more over exaggerated, and it actually does match her mask the more I look at it that's currently on her. So it's really just a different face expression. So forget what I mentioned, but yeah, there it is. Then get into the actual figure. So if you want to replace the faceplate, you just take it off like so. Man, that's a little creepy there, so I'll hurry up, put it on just to show them. There you go. When you put it on, it looks like it does a great job at blending in and not really showing the obvious parts of where it was taken off. So that's fantastic. But here is the alternate faceplate number 1, and then number 2. Here it is, pretty much just almost like the same one that's already on it, but has more of a, I don't know, happy expression, if you want to say that. So I think both are pretty great. And then here is the original one. I don't know, the original one almost makes it look like she's contemplating life with the expression she has. Doesn't really give like an angry look. I don't know. It's almost like she's reconsidering life. I have no idea. That's the vibe I just get off with it. That being said, let me actually get into the articulation. So you can go side to side. There we go. Pretty good. The hair doesn't seem to get in the way when going side to side too much. Going up though, it will get in the way. Doesn't really have much range of motion there. And when going down, there you go. It's not like crazy articulation in the head because of the crazy hair, but I feel like there's not a way to really change it unless you take away the plastic and make it some type of like Barbie hair. But I feel like that would just be pretty bad in terms of long term, and it'll start kind of like tearing apart, ripping apart, shedding, I guess you want to call that. So I feel like it's a good move to keep it plastic. Then when it comes to doing the actual T-pose, I was almost about to do the 360 already. But here is the T-pose, pretty decent. These are plastic shoulder pads, so they kind of adjust when you move the arm, as you can see. Then when it comes to 360, kind of get in the way there. Kind of have to have a outward motion, as you just saw, in order to get it to completely move around. And there is a bicep cut. So there you go, get range of motion there, great articulation. In terms of the elbow, I would help. There's always great elbow articulation, especially female figures, because of how thin their arms are. And I feel like that's something that needs to change a little bit, just to be a little, varying between female characters and figures. And with the hand, here you go, nice 360, you can do that. And then going up, see where it lines up. I think I'm almost, I'm like pulling their arm off already. There you go. Pretty much goes up all the way like that. And then going down, there you go. Just to make sure I didn't really take it off a little bit. Okay, looks like I did. So that's something, seems like might get in the way a little bit of trying to take her hand off. And when it comes to the bicep crunch, okay, she definitely has the flexibility there. Pretty great flexibility. That's more than I expected, probably because I'm used to the male figures at this point. And then going forward, decent amount, but not too crazy. And then yes, you can go side to side, no issue. And then in the waist, side to side, so you can see, no issue there. Not too tough and not too easy to move around, just right. And then comes to the actual splits. Here we go. Seems like this is pretty much the first thing goes, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. It seems like the belt kind of gets in the way. Then when it comes to the knee, bending, there you go. And then when it comes to the actual foot, side-side movement, perfectly fine there. We try to readjust that. And then going back, there you go. And then going up, there you go as well. Something, I'm not sure if she should have these high-heeled boots, but she does. It seems to be something that McFarlane continues to reuse over time. So hopefully they are supposed to be like that. If not, that's a kind of disappointment. And toe articulation, pretty much nothing there, but it does do it all the way. It just feels like there's nothing there. It's how small the toe actually is. Just go over the detail. You can see some texturing going on here in the legs. And then the belt, you got some nice detailing going on as well. On the back, pretty bland and basic. And yeah, as I mentioned, the shoulder pads look pretty good. I like the detail going on with the actual shoulder pads in general. And it is a wired cape, so you'll be able to get nice poses out of it. I like the coloring. The coloring on some white areas, like the stripe here, and kind of the front seems to be a little brighter of a white compared to the other areas. Everywhere else almost looks like a cream or kind of light gray color going on, so it's not really consistent, but I feel like it's not super obvious to the point where it makes you want to, you know, kind of like throw away this figure or toss it to the side. But that is something I just wanted to point out if you are wondering that, and if the camera is not doing justice, which I know in some aspects it does not. That being said, let me actually get into my final thoughts of this figure. When it comes to Huntress, I did change the faceplate on mine. I feel like this one's just a little bit better than the original one and has more of kind of a liveliness look to it instead of her contemplating life. That just kind of bothered me. And as I mentioned, I thought the bowcaster was a decent size, but when you put it in her hand, you realize how oversized it actually is compared to the rest of the figure. So I feel like that definitely should have been scaled down majorly, probably half the size it actually is. I do always enjoy the wired capes, really adds a lot to the character. There are some paint applications that seem a little bit, you know, less white, as I mentioned, compared to the others, such as here on the torso and the legs. Seems to be a little altering in terms of the white used. I don't know if it actually is supposed to be white or gray. That basically is what it makes you think about when you're looking at the two colors and trying to decide between the two. Overall, I feel like the faceplates are a great addition, like the fact that they're getting rid of the card stands, at least for now. So you have the chance and opportunity to actually change the face expression compared to what it actually is provided right off the bat. The card was a big disappointment because, as I mentioned, it said Superman, and I feel like it definitely is not supposed to say that. But when it comes to the whole character figure, what's included, I would have to say it's probably a 8.8 out of 10, just because of the different paint applications and kind of like issues there. And then, as I mentioned, bowcaster is pretty much oversized. The hands are okay, but I feel like maybe they could have been another accessory at least provided or included. The wire cape's pretty good as well, but I feel like there's just, you know, just those issues alone. I feel like those are quality control issues that need to be fixed. So that's the reason I'm giving the score. If they did not have those issues, I feel like this would be a dang near perfect figure with all that's included already. But other than that, that's going to wrap up today's review. If you did enjoy this review, please like, comment, subscribe for more future content. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.